The Premier League title race is heating up, and at this point, we can all agree that there are only three teams in this title race. Now, no disrespect to Tottenham and Aston Villa fans, because at this point, even the most devout of Villa and Spurs fans will agree that they are out of this one, and that leaves us with only three teams. I want to talk about these three teams. I want to make an argument for why each one of these teams is gonna win the league, and also an argument for why each one of these teams is not going to win the league. And at the end, I will give you my Premier League prediction. A lot of you are gonna be shocked. Now, let's start with Arsenal. Here's why Arsenal is not going to win the Premier League. No experience. Now, Man City, they've been there, they win the Premier League almost all the time. Liverpool, they also have some experience. They have players in there that have won the Premier League. They've also won the Champions League. So that lack of experience could come back to bite Arsenal because they just haven't done it. Also, squad depth. Arsenal's depth is not as strong as that of Liverpool and Man City. And with the Champions League coming back, now, Arsenal, I expect them to beat Porto. But then when they get past Porto, now you start playing against the likes of Real Madrid, PSG, Bayern Munich, Atletico. Is Arsenal strong enough to play an intense midweek game against these top European sides and also play in the Premier League? And by the way, they have to win. I don't know if their squad is that strong. I really don't know. It's something that only time is going to answer that for all of us. Now let's take a look at why Arsenal will win the Premier League. Defense. Saliba, Gabriel with Declan Rice sitting in front of them is an absolute wall. Look, that is as strong a defense as I could think of. Really, really strong. And we all know that defense is what wins titles. So that is a huge bonus for Arsenal. Or another reason is no expectations. Nobody expects Arsenal to win the league. No one is talking about Arsenal winning the league. So there's really no pressure on the shoulders of Arsenal. They can just quietly win their games while everyone is putting pressure on Man City and Liverpool. Another thing is lessons learned from last season. So last season, Arsenal fell short towards the end. Now their players are more experienced. They're a year older. They are better. And Arsenal, if they can learn from the mistakes of last season, they can correct those mistakes, they could go on to win the league this season. Now we move to Liverpool. Liverpool, for me, there's only one reason why they will not win the Premier League, and for me, it's injuries. Injuries to players like Alisson, Jota, Trent, Sobosley. I mean, these are key players. Now, there's even doubt on Darwin Núñez and Salah, which is crazy, So Liverpool, they have to find a way to keep their players fit, because these injuries, if they keep having these injuries, they are definitely not going to win the league. Now, let's take a look at reasons why Liverpool will win the league. Squad depth. Look, Liverpool squad depth, I think people don't talk about it a lot. I think their squad depth is insane. The injuries they are, I'm talking about injuries to key players. The fact that they can have other players come in and they are still beating the likes of Brentford 4-1 away is crazy. You saw how difficult Brentford is to beat against Man City. Brentford are not an easy team to play against, but Liverpool made it look easy. That's because their squad depth is really, really good. Also, Jurgen Klopp leaving. The players love him, the fans love him. They are going to do everything to make sure that Jurgen Klopp leaves Liverpool as a Premier League winner. Also, Liverpool has a huge advantage in the fact that they are in the Europa League, while Arsenal and Man City are in the Champions League. What Klopp can do is, in the Europa League, he can play his fringe players, the likes of Gravenberch, Harvey Elliott, Kwanzaa, Joe Gomez, Conor Bradley, all these guys. These guys are good, solid Premier League players. They can definitely win most teams in the Europa League. So Jurgen Klopp can keep his best team only for the Premier League. That is a luxury that Arsenal and Man City do not have at this point, because if you play a weakened team in the Champions League, you lose. So they have to play their strongest team in the Champions League and also in the Premier League. That is a huge advantage to Liverpool. Now we move to Man City. Here are a few reasons why Man City is not going to win the Premier League. Defense. Man City's defense, for me, it's really, really bad. Whenever I watch Man City, they always look as if they will concede. I watched them against Everton and they struggled to break down Everton. And if Everton had better strikers, I had a feeling Everton could have scored. You saw how they struggled against Chelsea as well, and also against Brentford. So Man City are not really playing that well right now. Yes, they are winning. That is a sign of champions, but their defense, it could come back to bite them. Ederson. Ederson has the worst save percentage of all goalkeepers in the top 5 leagues in Europe. That is crazy. Yes, he is good at playing with his feet, but it does not make up for his poor shot stopping ability. Their defense and their goalkeeper for me are a huge problem. Another thing is their squad depth. Now, do not get me wrong on this one. Man City's squad depth is really good, but is not as good as you guys think it is. Last season, for example, they had the likes of Gundogan, Mahrez, world-class players who could come off the bench and make a difference. For me, they have not replaced Gundogan, and for me, they have not replaced Mahrez. Doku is not Mahrez. Doku, for me, he dazzles, he dribbles, and then he just passes the ball to the opponent. I don't rate Doku that much. Now, if you look at Man City's bench, who do you really see? Besides Foden and Alvarez, who else is there? Like the likes of Rico Lewis, Oscar Bob, Mateo Kovacic, seriously, are these the players I should be worried about? I'm not worried about these players. So Man City's depth, I think they are overrated. It's not as good as everyone think it is. Here's the reason why Man City will win the league. It's a simple one. Experience. It's what they do pretty much every year. They've won like 5 out of the last 6 Premier League titles. And if they win it this year, they're going to make history. They'll be the first team to win it 4 years in a row, which has never happened before. Now, here is my prediction. And I told you a lot of you will be shocked. In third position, I think Man City will finish third. Look, Man City, whenever I watch them, I think there's a lot of issues in that team right now. And they are so susceptible on the counter attack. And if you look at the fixtures that they have left, especially in March, they play Man United, they come to Anfield, then they play Arsenal as well. Then a few weeks later, they play Tottenham. These are teams that are absolutely devastating on the counter attack. And I do not see Man City getting maximum points in all these games. I just don't see it. I think they will drop points. I think they will. Usually, historically, Man City at this point of the season, they just win every game. I don't see it happening this year because the other teams are better as well. And Man City's defense, for me, is going to let them down. That is why I think Man City will finish third. Second position, Arsenal will come in second. Because like I mentioned, I don't think their depth is as strong as that of Liverpool and Man City. I think playing in the Champions League and playing in the Premier League is going to catch up on them. And I think, but that defense is still going to be enough for them to finish second. And for me, Liverpool finishes first because they are in the Europa League and not in the Champions League. Jurgen Klopp can save his best 11 for the Premier League only, while the other 2 teams are playing their best teams both in the Champions League and in the Premier League. So, and right now, Liverpool are in the driving seat. So, as long as Liverpool keep winning their games, they win the Premier League. So, Liverpool for me finishes top. Thank you for watching.